offer everything that you see out here are a part of her services, and then we have lovely vendors inside. But I know y'all are here to hear me talk, so I'm going to move on. We have here former radio host, TV show host, former House of Representatives for Ohio, and he is a motivational legend who I deeply admire. And he has that catchphrase, shoot for the moon, because if you miss, at least you'll land amongst the stars. Mr. Les Brown, everybody.
I'm very fine without any microphone. Yes.
Fabulous.
Yes.
So, I'm going to interview Mr. Brown, but I don't want to do the typical where are you from
Just start
type
anywhere that you
questions.
want to start, and I'm comfortable with that.
Great. So part of the reason that we are here is for health and wellness. So I would like to know from you, what does health and wellness mean to you?
Well, that's a very important question that's very close to my mind. I'm a 27-year prostate cancer conqueror because of God's grace and mercy. So mindset is very important, and having a healthy lifestyle. And so a primarily plant-based diet is something that I adhere to. But I must admit that I do sneak in some chicken wings.
What about those peanut M&Ms? Are you still sneaking those?
I'm not still doing the M&Ms, but I do love chicken wings, barbecue chicken wings. And I'm trying to find a support group that can help me detox.
That's fabulous.
Yes.
Next question, I personally want to know, when did you know you wanted to become a motivational speaker?
When I met a gentleman by the name of Mr. Eli Washington, I was a junior in high school, and after that point, I had been labeled educable mentally retarded, and I was put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade, and I failed again in the 8th grade. But I met him my junior year in high school, and he taught me 3 things that's very important. You see, you want to become successful, he says, number 1, develop your mind. You don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. 2, upgrade your relationships. Practice and principle of OQP, only quality people. And 3, master the art of communication. Because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. And from that time to this day, I've spoken in over 50 countries and to major corporations and been able to impact millions of people's lives. But that moment was a transformative moment when I was struggling to believe in myself. And sometimes you have to believe in somebody's belief in you until your belief kicks in.
Okay, let me ask you this. As a person, and what you just said, you impact millions, when do you know to turn off or on your switch of availability? Like, when do you know to say, no, I can't help you? Because since you're so motivational, I'm sure people always come to you to get filled up, but when do you turn it off or on?
Well, it's interesting that you should ask that question. I just was listening to a quote today that said, stop complaining about people who suck the life out of you when you continue to provide the straw. Oh, behave. One of the things that I think is very important, that we have to protect our energy. Energy is very important. And we have to be selective about the people that we interact with.
Yes.
And we have to have a diverse group of people, of collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships, just like this community of entrepreneurs that you have here.
Yes.
Because you're supporting each other. But what's also important is upgrading those relationships. Dr. Dennis Kimbrough from Atlanta said, if you're the smartest one in your group, you need to get a new group. Yeah. And so what I do now, I'm very selective of who I spend time with. I'm 75 years old, so I only work with people. You know, life don't crack, but you do need some Vaseline every once in a while. There's a jerk his hand lotion. You know, the lotion that I just got here today. But it's very important if you look at the energy that we allow people to share in our space, because my son John Leslie had a saying, let go or be dragged. That if you don't identify the energy drainers in your life, they will drag you down. And so in this space, when you're giving out a lot, speaking to people, and you're traveling, like I'm leaving this coming week, I'm going to speak in London, England, and I just got back from Singapore. That's a 20-hour flight. And so going there, I have to prepare for that, getting Father's lead of being with Dr. Baba, to do the things, get centered and anchored, and doing the exercises and stretches so that when I take that flight, when I get off, I must be ready to fire them up. And so you have to have a program for yourself to rejuvenate, to renew, and to restore your energy. And be mindful of that every day, because there are a lot of emotional vampires that will drain you if you allow them. So we have to be mindful of who we are. And also what our mission is, what it is we want to do. Because there's so many problems in the world that you've got to decide where you're going to plant your feet and focus on doing that. Upgrade your skill set, your relationships continuously, but having a ritual for yourself to empower yourself, because you're going to take some hits. Things are going to happen to you that you can't anticipate. And you must fortify yourself from the inside out. There's an African proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. So my being here at the Wellness Clinic is about my not just coming to be supportive of the entrepreneurs here, but I came to rejuvenate, to replenish my spirit, and to be in this healing environment that allows me to continue to do the work that I'm doing. And I encourage people to come down and participate. You're going to find entrepreneurs and people who care about you. And Maya Angelou said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And you'll find this to be a caring community that have come together to help you to begin to soar to new heights.
Yes. Okay, one final question.
It doesn't have to be a final one.
Okay, great. Can you please share with us, because in your speeches you tell a lot about your trying times that you've been through. Aside from what you have told the people in your speeches, so that we lost the house, you told stories of your friends who had like negative attitudes towards getting a job and such. But aside from anything that you've already told us, can you tell us about maybe one of your darkest hours and how you pulled yourself out of that?
Well, 3 words no one ever wants to hear. You have cancer. I came here around 10 months ago. I'm under the auspices of the Cancer Centers of America because of the medical team there. And Dr. Taha, who was from Pakistan, he said, Mr. Brown, do you know that for several years now, you've been dealing with 4th-stage cancer? And he said it has metastasized to 7 areas of your body. The young lady was about to massage me. I said, don't push too hard around my neck and let me be mindful of what I say, because your body hears everything that you say. I said, they say cancer's eating 40% of my T1 vertebrae. But when he said it has metastasized to 7 areas of your body, I smiled. He said, why are you smiling? I said, 7 is my lucky number. I said, that means that cancer's getting the hell beat out of it. So that was a challenging time, more for my kids. My oldest daughter, Ona Brown, she's a speaker, and she was there with me, and she started crying, and I said, Ona, I said, we all have an expiration date, but I don't believe that at this point in time that this is my time. And one of the great things about being here in Atlanta is that I've lived in a lot of cities, and I was here before, But all the places I've been, and this is the first place that I have a sense of home. I have a chance to meet beautiful people like you, like Rick, and like Tammy, and I feel a connectedness here. And so part of what allows me to do what I do, one is you want to put yourself in an environment that gives you an opportunity to win, a home court advantage. I feel with the supportive modalities that you have here, the positive people that I meet, the purpose of my life, I believe we were created on purpose for a purpose, that you are a masterpiece because you're a piece of the master.
Amen.
And so I believe that the assignment for me, because at 75 you start reflecting on your life. Leo Tolstoy said, as I face inevitable death, what in the meaning and purpose of my life that will not be undone or destroyed when I'm gone? And I believe that the speakers that I train and develop and teach them how to tell their story. There's a young man here. Where's Matthew? Yeah, Matthew flew in from Chicago. So I do intensive training with young people like Matthew, who's also from Cuba, but he lives in Chicago, flew in. And I believe that the speakers that I train and the people that I have influenced and the people that they influence, that work will not be undone or destroyed when I'm gone. That I believe we were all created on purpose, for a purpose, with a purpose. But most people go to their graves never discovering what their purpose has been the job. Those of you that are here have stepped out of that programming and stepped into your greatness and say, you know what? I'm going to create something that's me. Because we were not born to work for a living, but to live our making. You have collectively said, I want to live a life that will outlive me. And so in making that decision, you're going to impact other people's lives. The children that are here, that's very important. Because to help our people to begin to create those collaborative, achievement-driven relationships that will give us a larger vision of ourselves, that will fortify us internally and provide the support that can help us get to the next level. None of us can make it by ourselves. 72% of corporations are striking strategic partnerships. So when I look at Rick, who brought me here, and Tammy, and Dr. Barbara, and then fortunately I get a chance to meet you and other people here, my goal is to support those communities. I have over 1 million people on my Facebook. So I want to interview the people from this community to promote you so other people become aware of you and come down here.
Thank you so much.
Yes, because that's what we need. We have to support each other.
More. So, thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing and so open. So, in the world that we live in now, there is a lot of social media and such. When you hear the word vulnerability, what does that mean to you? And like, how vulnerable do you think people should or should not be sharing?
Fantastic question.
That's a very good question. One of the things I train speakers, what allowed me to become a dominant figure in the speaking industry. The speaking industry has been governed by the Dale Carnegie course, which is a good course. They teach, tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. My mentor, Mike Williams, who wrote the book called The Road to Your Best Stuff, he said, Brownie, he said, never let what you want to say get in the way of what your audience wants to hear. And all I get understanding. Ask key questions so that you're addressing the things that they're telling you that's their sweet spot, that is interesting to them, that can empower them, that can give them a breakthrough. Next thing that he shared with me, if information could change people, everybody would be skinny, rich, and happy. That when you speak, he said, use your story. He said, a story has a human face. With your story, you can create an experience. Oliver Wendell Holmes said that once a man or woman's mind has been expanded with an idea, concept, or experience, it can never be satisfied to going back to where it was. And so the key, I believe, what we have to do as we look at where we are going into the future and doing what it is that you are doing now is multiply the number of voices of hope, because when there's hope in the future, that gives you power in the present. And so now this is a very historic time for us. You know, James Weldon Johnson said, we've come over a way that the tears have been watered, come treading a path through the blood of the slaughter. That we've come to this place for which our fathers sighed. You know, you have a sigh, it's like, wow, we're here. And so now we're at this place that those before us, the ones who refuse to die, yearn for us. And now we have the tools, everything we need to create a new reality, to become, as Mother Teresa would say, a pencil in the hand of God and start writing a new chapter in our lives. And the key is to stay focused, keep that eye focused. The reason that most people are failing now is that they are suffering from distractions. The only way that this community came about, a group of people got together in a collective mindset and say, you know what? There's a need. And if we put our energy and our focus and our resource together, we can create a community that can serve people, that can not only make a difference in our lives, but make a difference in the lives of the people that we serve. So you're literally part of a community that, in a historical context, you're going to begin to write some new chapters. Other people will see your example and be inspired by that. I'm excited. I mean,
I'm excited
don't,
too.
yeah, don't let this 75 fool you. I'm just energized and feel inspired being in this energy here. You know, I'm saying, wow, if I left here today, I'll say on the other side to Nat and to Harriet, they're kicking butt and taking names.
Okay, with that being said, who currently inspires you?
Mike Williams. Mike has been my mentor for 51 years. He wrote a book, and everybody should get it. It's called The Road to Your Best Stuff. The Road to Your Best Stuff. You get it on Amazon, you get the book, and you can get the audio book. I was a disc jockey in Columbus, Ohio. LB Triple P, Les Brown, your platter playing papa. There were none before me, there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only, young and single and love to mingle, certified, bona fide, indubitably qualified to bring you satisfaction, a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I'm your love man. I was bad. And you know something? Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
There's a guy who came to Atlanta years ago who taught me how to work the control board. His name was Joe Walker. He was blind. He was blind, and he came and was on radio doing sports here in Atlanta many years ago. And so, but Mike, he saw more in me than I saw in myself. And it's very important that you have somebody with a trained eye, somebody who has lived an achievement-driven life, somebody with integrity and can see in you what you can't see, because you can't read the label when you're locked in the box. And he saw this Les Brown. I just saw myself as an entertainer, as a disc jockey. But he saw more in me, and sometimes you have to believe in somebody's belief in you until your belief kicks in. So he inspires me. I spoke in the Georgia Dome, and if people go online and put in Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome, the speech is called "It's Not Over Till You Win." I don't remember the speech, but here's what I do remember. When my heart felt like it was about to beat out of my chest, he said, "Brownie?" And I looked at him, and I said, "Yes, Mike." He said, "Don't be afraid." He said, "You didn't come to see them. They came to see you." He said, "Brownie, you can do this." And I said, "Man, you think I can do it?" He said, "Yes. Do it. Make your mother proud." And all I remember, the look in his eyes, and when they gave me the microphone, I don't remember anything else. I don't remember the audience. I don't remember seeing them. But all I remember saying, "More of thee, less of me. Use me, Lord. Use me." And I did that presentation before 80,000 people. Because when he spoke, there was like a knowing, I got this. And that's why having someone in your life that can see what you can't see, because you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Y'all have some questions?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just first of all want to thank you guys for the opportunity of being here. I told you when I first saw you that I've been looking for you for 40 years.
Wow.
I'm happy to be here. But my question is this, well, I guess question/comment. I also classified myself as a motivational speaker. I go into the schools and I talk to the children. But this is what I do. I'm from Bermuda originally. We had a spike in gang violence, and I decided to take action and go into all the schools. But what I'm doing now is going into the schools, but I got a lot of red tape. I mean, you understand about the blockages. But how can we, those of us who want to make a difference in the lives of not just blacks, but everyone, how can we make a difference? I know I have a gift. I already know it. Nobody can tell me. The Bermuda government hired me to go into the schools and the prisons. But now I'm here in Georgia, and they're like, "Who are you?" I'm like, I'm just one person, just like Dr. King was, just like Rosa Parks and the rest of the ones that got together with a vision to give it to the people. So my question to you is, how do people like myself that are so highly driven, that feel like LeBron James on the bench and will not be given a chance to play the game? Help me out, preacher.
Well, you know the difference between a motivational speaker and a preacher?
Yes, sir. Tell me.
Preachers preach the gospel about Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I preach the gospel that Jesus preached.
Yes,
They
sir.
sell the messenger, and I sell his message. Yeah. What's important is what you're doing right now. Finding other people, like-minded people, who have an interest in what you have an interest in, and partnering up. Don't try and do it by yourself, because there's somebody in this room who knows somebody that's on the other side of a door that you want to get in. There's somebody in this room. 95% of speaking engagements come about because of personal recommendation. Somebody in this room knows somebody they can recommend you to, because this is your passion. And this is how you decided to live your life. Because we were not born to work for a living, but to live our making. And you've decided, this is who I am. You've decided, this is what I'm going to do. And that's what I did. You know, I resigned. I was once a state legislator. And I resigned from the Ohio legislature and went back to Miami to take care of my mother. I'm adopted. And Mama, who adopted 7 of us, that I was trying to think, what am I going to do? You know, I don't have a college education, and people used to say, you know, you got the gift of gab. And then I went to this motivational event, and a guy was speaking just like I'm talking now. And he just stopped. How many of you have ever had an experience where someone was speaking, you felt like they were speaking to you, raise your hand if you had spirit.
Right now?
He stopped. And he said, there's somebody here who should be up here. And you know who you are. And you convince yourself you can't do it because of what you don't have. He says, I'm here to say that what you have is enough. Then he started speaking again. And then he stopped. He said, this is in my spirit. He said, hey, you know who you are. He said, you're squirming now because you know you should be on this stage with me talking to this audience. And he said, and the reason I'm here and you're seated out in the audience, I represent the thoughts that you have rejected for yourself. I got up, I ran outside and I called Mike. They had a payphone, and at that time you can make a call for a dime. I called Mike. I said, Mike! He said, Ronnie, what's happening? I said, I'm not rejecting myself anymore. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
He said, Brownie, calm down. I said, no, Mike. My mother has breast cancer. She needs me. I'm not rejecting myself anymore. I can do this. I can make a difference in people's lives. And I can make money too. And I can be available for my mother. I said, will you help me? And one of the things I believe in, ask for help, not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. And ask for help and don't stop until you get it. And so he came down to help me in Miami. He helped me. I met him. He was a very gifted speaker, and I was one of his groupies. And I said, can you teach me how to do this? And he said, yes. He said, I'm a strategist. And I invested in myself so I can learn. I said, I'm not mentally fit to work for somebody for the rest of my life.
Yes.
That's just not who I am. And he helped me to come into this place where I can help people doing something I enjoy.
Will you help me?
She said, we can talk about it later. We can hook a sister up. Yes, sir.
I was going to ask, what is required to become one of the speakers with your company? What is required?
I have a training. If you go to workwithless.com, I think that's it. Yeah, workwithless.com. Or email me at lesbrown77@gmail.com. I'm going to be doing a speaker mastermind before the end of the year, probably first week of December. So you email me, I'll let you know when that is. We do it here locally, and work with a few people at my house or the gathering, someplace like
Or you
this.
can come to this place if you like.
I'm speaking, I go to, that is one of those things about when you say no. I didn't want to go to speak in London, but when I speak out of the country, I get 225,000 pounds are more valuable than the dollar. And so I said, here I am, Lord, send me. Somebody gotta go. Yeah, this Thursday I go to London,
You might want to go with me?
Yeah. I used to be so broke I walked past a bank and turned me along. Yes, somebody else had a yes, sir.
Yes, I offered on the radio program a couple of weeks ago to give you that class. Now, when can I deliver? I'm ready to give you that class. We've already had 2 or 3 classes from you.
Yes.
But I want to now gift you.
I received that. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
So
You and I
we
have
can-
great energy together, and I want to do that because cancer cells gone crazy, and we have what Dr. Taha and the people at Cancer Centers of America, they are amazed. They said you will not die from cancer. However, the treatment we've been giving you has put over 80 pounds on you, and so you become diabetic and you need insulin. And so with diabetes, you can't play with that. That will kill you. You can lose your sight. You can have amputations. And so now the opportunity for me is to work hard and focus to release this weight. You know, that's where my mind is, and my focus is. So I do need you because we all have stuff. You know, I have a son that's going to a real struggle now. He's bipolar, schizophrenic, and he looks just like me. He's talented, but he looks like I made him by myself. But he can't hear my voice, and I realize that, how many of you ever had a hit where life hits you and you can sometimes knock you senseless and it takes something out of you? How many of you ever
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I've been losing a lot of sleep. The first thing I've ever dealt with that I had to come to terms with, I can't conquer this. I can't live my son's life. I can't make his choices. And I teach, don't speak where you don't have a voice. And it's hard not to do that when it's your flesh and blood. But I have to pray and meditate and with you, your positive energy, trust that God's hand is on his life and this is his journey and he's going to be just fine.
Amen.
I must know that, and I ask your prayers. Yes. Next
So
question.
when can I come on with it?
Tomorrow, Brother Bob.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, let's make it 3 o'clock
Let's make it
tomorrow.
3 o'clock tomorrow.
Yes, because of this time that I'm spending here, I feel a sense of peace and mental clarity. And there's something I've been working on, which is my new book is called You've Got to Be Hungry. That now when I leave here, I have had a breakthrough since just talking with you, being in this positive energy. I'm going to complete it before I go to sleep tonight. I'm going to have my first book signing, if you allow me, here.
There you go.
This lovely lady here.
Yes, ma'am.
So my mother asked me to relay a message to you. She said that you are her most favorite motivational speaker. She's been listening to you for about 30 years now, and she just wanted you to know the impact that you've made on her professional life and her personal life, and you're a big part of her success.
And tell her I said, I've been doing this 51 years. Tell her I said, because I've been blessed by your magnificent touch, she should have another one.
Wait.
You got the aftermath. It's still beautiful.
She loves you truly. She
Oh,
truly
thank
does.
you.
And I remember as a child listening. I remember that name, Les Brown. Les Brown. It was always there. So just thank you for contributing to my mother and that way.
Oh, thank you so much. So I said thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Les Brown. My name is Lacey Andrews. I also greatly admire you. I've been listening to you for like 10 years straight. All throughout my college years and grad school and everything, you've just like helped me get to today. And I remember like in one of your speeches, you was talking about like, because I think you were dealing with homelessness, but you were still like preaching like, you can be successful and you can do this. And it's like, the question is, how did you get over feeling like a hypocrite or feeling like
Because I
you
wasn't
weren't
there yet.
Yeah, because you wasn't there yet.
Well,
Yet you
first
were
of all, what
speaking.
anchored me was, we must call forth those things that be not, as though they were. Because you're not successful yet, does not mean that you're not successful. Success happens twice. First in the mind, and then in the without. So in my mind, I saw myself speaking on stages around the world. In my mind, I saw myself speaking for AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, And so I kept going, even though I was in Detroit at the time, and I was sleeping on my floor in my office, and bathing in the sink down the hall in the Penobscot building, and hiding in the closet when the janitorial staff came in. And so, but I held on tenaciously. The Dramatics had a song years ago, "What you see is what you get." And so it's very important that you discipline yourself to stay focused on the goal that you want to achieve. Don't look to the right, don't look to the left, because where focus goes, energy flows. When will your dream happen? It will happen when it happens. When will a baby walk? It will walk when it walks. Some walk sooner than others. When will it talk? It will talk when it talks. We don't know. And so you don't know when your dream take you on a journey. Some journeys we select, but there's some journeys the dream selects. And we've got to be willing to commit ourselves to go through the process. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. And so when you are living in your imagination as opposed to your history, Einstein said the imagination is the preview of what's to come. And so it's very important that we not get caught up in the distractions of life. Those people never achieve their goals because they get distracted by rejection, by defeats, by setbacks, by negative conversations, internal and external. But you've got to decide, you know what? This is me. I will climb this mountain, or I'm going to die on the side of it with a smile on my face.
That's it.
I take no prisoners and eat the wounded. Oh, behave!
Wow.
Yes.
Anyone else with a question?
No, well, there not being any, yes. Let me just share this with you.
I just need to see you in my office afterwards. That's it.
All right. Let me share this with you. Allow me, please. That I don't think it's any accident that I'm here today because of Tammy. She invited me, and Rick brought me here, and that you're here. I call this a God moment. I believe if you and I weren't cut from the same cloth and branches of the same tree, I believe that what I've done, that you're going to do that and even more. There are some people who've been invited here and they didn't show up. And the reason they didn't show up, because this message is not for them. This message is for you.
Stop.
Jesus said, whosoever will, let him come. So you are the willing to show up. And I'm just here to remind you of what you already know in your heart of hearts. And where your heart is, there your treasure is also. This has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy and Tammy's pride and joy.
All right.
Thank you so much.